Hello everyone, this is Melissa with Enchanted Emerald bringing you a reading here for this Monday evening, May 8th, 2023. I hope this day has treated you well. This is just a small message to kind of remind us what's in store for us. What I've used this evening is the traditional Rider-Waite deck. That's something that I always use in my readings, of course. And the card that came out this evening is actually the Moon card. So you can see that there is the Moon and Sun together, and there's a Scorpio coming up out of the water. So this is really highlighting that there are hidden aspects to this reading, okay? So this is really telling us here that there is some divisive energy at work, right? Where I feel as though there are things that are happening around you. There are dynamics at play where certain issues have come to light, right? Where you understand that you have acted in a certain way or presented yourself in a certain way in interacting with this person, probably for a period of time, maybe even an extended period of time, because you did not want to lose this person in your life, right? And I feel as though this comes from some sort of a clouded judgment, right? There were issues at hand, perhaps current events that have been kind of leading you in this direction. And so whatever is going on within this relationship dynamic with you, there are things that you prefer not to say. You really would rather not disclose that. Or maybe perhaps you're unsure yourself of how you feel about certain things, and so there's certain topics that you just avoid talking about. That's not something that you want to talk about. However, when this person brings this situation up, you listen and you nod and you're like, right, and you kind of agree. You're very good listener for this person. You allow this person to speak their own truth and speak their mind, and this is a good thing. You've been a good friend that way, right? But the fact that you have been nodding and perhaps maybe even appearing as if you are agreeing, I think that this other party could be under some sort of an impression that you may agree, right? And so this is really where, okay, now you're getting yourself into a situation where you're not really sure how to handle things, right? Because perhaps you then also have other friends that you do the same thing with, where you're kind of, listening, nodding, agreeing, right? Thinking that you're being a really good friend, and perhaps there are things that come out that they talk about that maybe you feel like, okay, I do agree with that. I do resonate with that. That does feel right for me. And then there are things that maybe they say that maybe doesn't necessarily resonate with you. And so, but you not necessarily speaking up or speaking out or putting out on display what you believe or your opinions about that, letting them know, it's kind of put you in this place where you're kind of in limbo, right? Where you're kind of walking the line, so to speak, where you're playing both sides, right? And so, you're really not sure how to handle that. And so now you're in this place where it's kind of hard to describe this because, it's like you have to drop bad habits, and you don't want this person to drop you like a bad habit. This was what was coming up was dropping you like a bad habit. You don't want this person to do that, but understand that bad habits are hard to break. Think of all the bad habits that we have to contend with in our lives, and then we in essence then have to try to break those habits. Once a habit is formed, and it takes 28 days to really get going to create a new habit, that's really difficult to do that. So for those that are trying to quit smoking, for those that are trying to lose weight, eating healthier, right? There are things that we have to work on, and it is a consistent journey, right? This is not something that happens overnight. So think of all these things. So do you, in essence, then really think that this person is going to drop you like a bad habit? Meaning that they're going to just let you fall away from their life? No. Because bad habits are very difficult to break. So, this is something to keep in mind when you are thinking of speaking your truth, right? When you are thinking of, putting your true, authentic self out there within this friendship or relationship dynamic. So, again, you're walking the line and you're remaining neutral, but it's really beginning to show, right? It's been very difficult now for you to kind of navigate certain situations. And so maybe you've had to be a peacekeeper in essence, right? Where you didn't really have to disclose your viewpoint, but you said to each their own, and you kind of kept that to yourself, and you've led the way as far as being some sort of a peacekeeper, and now you've gotten to this place where it's starting to show because it's kind of leading to a little bit of turmoil. Now, this doesn't necessarily have to be an external turmoil yet, where there's an actual conflict, like a verbal altercation or a discussion about it. It could just be a turmoil within yourself. Maybe you're starting to feel uncomfortable in certain social situations, right? Because it's now putting you into situations where you haven't spoken your truth, and so now you're being put into situations where you're having to have more and more conversations about that topic or those topics that you prefer not to discuss, or put in social settings where you'd rather not be in those social settings, but you haven't spoken up about that. There's something that's kind of leading to this little bit of internal conflict, perhaps. So the honesty here is the best policy, right? And so perhaps it would have been best here all along if you were honest and right from the beginning said, hey, I would like to agree to disagree, and then you stood in your truth and you were able to move forward in that dynamic, right? So when you do have a discussion with this person, what I would offer is that it's easy to extend someone comfort and security with a simple touch, whether it's a touch on their hand, a touch on their shoulder, a pat on the back, whatever that looks like in terms of offering some comfort and security as you relay your true feelings, or relay how you feel and how you would like to agree to disagree, and then also still be able to move forward and implement some sort of a boundary in what topics you believe would be an off limit for discussion for you, or to just limit that discussion because it makes you uncomfortable, right? Things like that. Understand that this touch will be very powerful in acknowledging their feelings, showing them care, concern, showing them regard, right? But then still delivering that impactful news, or that difficult news of, hey, I would like to move forward in a different way. And then implementing that boundary, it just offers them some security and reassurance of where you are within a friendship or a relationship dynamic of, hey, I'm still here for you. I still want to progress being friends with you or in this together with you, but I'm honoring myself here by letting you know that I'm uncomfortable with that, and that's not something that I want to do anymore. And so, it will, if you're using, of course, your I statements, make them to be a little less defensive in reaction as well. It tends to have a better impact. So just know that as well. If you kind of own that and own your responsibility in that, take accountability for how far it's come and why you are the person that, take that responsibility of, I feel this way. and I would like to move forward this way because of this, right? Rather than saying, you make me uncomfortable when you talk about such and such, right? So this is really just something to kind of put you on the spot here, that it's for you to be mindful of and know going forward that some situation could present itself for you. Know that if you do nothing, you could be presented at some point where with a situation in which you will have to improvise in some way, shape, or form, where you're going to have to kind of like off the cuff deal with an uncomfortable situation or something that causes you to feel uncomfortable. So you are going to have to kind of like make it up as you go, or you could have this, plan in your mind of like, this is how I would like to handle it. So this is what this conversation is about. This is what this reading is about, is to kind of just prepare you a little bit. So you're thinking about that, how you would like to have that conversation, how you would like that to go down, set some intentions around how you would like that to be handled and how well you would like that to go, and that even intentions around that can even turn around how well that can actually turn out for you. So that's a great thing, because if you do nothing, I do feel that this tension could build and it could bubble to the surface and it could get a little ugly. I do feel like it could get the better of you, where you could feel defeated, and this person could kind of there could be some witty, remarks going back, backbiting, that kind of thing. Some sort of a conflict could arise on some level. So it's best for you to maybe just kind of nip it in the bud at this point, disclose how you're feeling, and just say, hey, I'd like to sit this one out when conversations come up that make you uncomfortable, and just take leave, and then come back. You don't have to always be in that social setting when those conversations are going down, because if you're nipping it in the bud, this situation is not going to progress into something that's worse for you to deal with. So I think time is on your side a little bit. I mean, I don't think that it's something that's urgent that you have to deal with like today or tomorrow or maybe even like a week from now, but sooner rather than later. So that's the reading here for us for today, and I do so hope that this helps you in navigating this energy, this tricky energy, as we're rounding out Mercury retrograde and getting through some of this intense energy. So if you're interested in your own personal reading, I'd love to be able to do that for you. Please don't hesitate to book a session with me. It's pinned in the description box below here on the YouTube. Or you can simply message me on the Facebook Messenger on Enchanted Emerald. And as always, I will be back with another read for you guys again soon. Thank you so much. Take care.